You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi there, Days of Our Lives fans. I want to talk today about impending doom, lives on the line, and 5 characters who may soon meet their maker on Days. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to talk about one person who's marked for death, another facing a growing risk of death, someone who really deserves to die, somebody who's wounded soon, possibly fatally, and one tragedy that everybody knows is coming but no one wants to see. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to get into these deadly and near-deadly scenarios on your NBC soap, but please click that button if you are not subscribed yet. All right, let's start with the first of the 5 characters that may die soon. This one is marked for death. I'm talking about Alex Kiriakis, the same lunatic who texted Bonnie Kiriakis and then staged it so she'd fall down the elevator shaft, is not done targeting cast members. After this mystery person, who's maybe Carrie, maybe Whitley, we'll see, marked a red X on Bonnie's photo, they moved over to a headshot of Alex, another soap star. Looks like the would-be killer wants to mark him for death too and put a big red X on his face. And remember, in addition to Bonnie and others, Alex was sent a poisoned cupcake. Looks like the cupcake poisoner is probably the same person that tried to send Bonnie falling to her doom and is now targeting Alex. So will he die? I'd like to think not. Robert Scott Wilson is way too hunky to kill off of Days, but Alex might be seriously injured if this lunatic has their way and lures him into some sort of trap on the set. I bet it would be hard to get Alex or anybody else to fall for the broken elevator scheme, so maybe instead of causing him to fall, the perp is going to drop something on Alex, like lights or ballast. Either way, I hope he lives, but it's Salem, so you never know. All right, second, let's talk about someone facing a growing likelihood they will be killed, and this is about Ava Vitali. She's in the clutches of the completely nutty woman in white, aka Rachel Blake, mom of criminally crazy Kristen DiMera. This woman is not even sane and had no problem assaulting Ava and holding her captive. And at first, when Rachel Sr. was taunting Ava, she was confident Brady would find her because she left that voicemail. But the woman in white said that Ava's message was garbled, so Brady has no idea where she is and he's not coming. And then little Rachel sent Brady a text saying Ava left to stay with her son Trip and his fiance Wendy in Hong Kong for a while. That's a lie, obviously, but until Brady talks to Steve Johnson or Trip Johnson, he's probably going to believe it, and that leaves Ava in the hands of a maniac. The woman in white said she would do anything to make her namesake Rachel happy, and over the next couple of weeks, someone does come to the Blake house and finds Rachel, but it's not Brady, at least not at first. Look at this scene from the Day of Days mega promo of Kristen with Ava at Blake House, her family summer home.
There is someone here.
So Kristen may figure out Ava is not really gone to Hong Kong because she believed the text too. Maybe she confiscates, Ava's cell phone. Maybe she finds it in Rachel's possession. Maybe she shakes a confession out of her kid. But here's where it gets scary. Will Kristen help Ava get free, or will she thank her mom, Rachel Sr., for holding Ava captive to give her a chance to get back with Brady and tell her mom, the woman in white, to keep Ava, kill Ava? She doesn't care. She could just walk out and leave her there. Kristen could and not look back. I do expect Ava to survive this ordeal and that Brady will blame Kristen for it all, but of course we'll see. It is exciting stuff for sweeps. All right, the next person I want to talk about, number 3 on my list, is the one I said deserves to die. Creepy Arnold Feniger. Not a fan. I do enjoy seeing Galen playing the role, but the character itself, not a fan. Plus, he raped Sammy by crawling in her bed and pretending to be her husband Rafe. Now he's back, blackmailing EJ, boinking strippers, forcing Javi to lie, and plotting with EJ to ruin Jada's life. This guy's just not a nice dude at all. Salem will be better off without him. I could see the cops coming for him and Arnold winding up shot, or Sammy Brady might strangle him when she's back in a few months. But I'd say the biggest risk to Arnold Feniger's mortality is EJ DiMera, his current and past partner in crime. He knows if the cops arrest Arnold, he'll rat out EJ faster than a meerkat on meth. So if the cops get a hold of Arnold, EJ may have him killed. So we'll see if he survives. But if Arnold winds up dead again, I cannot imagine who would miss him. Number 4, speaking of Arnold's partner in crime, EJ DiMera is the next we need to discuss, the 4th of 5 possible deaths. I have saved the saddest one for last, for number 5, by the way, but now let's talk about 4. Right now, Arnold is doing EJ's bidding. He's not doing a great job, but he's doing the job. He's hanging in there. And it looks like this rocks on a while longer until Sammy comes back, and then Johnny finds out about Arnold, and Roman lets his grandson know he thinks EJ is just as big a rapist as awful Arnold. And it's after that somebody shoots EJ in the chest, and the wound could be fatal. Once again, I hope he survives. I enjoy the character. The only person on this list I'd be okay with days killing off, honestly, is Arnold, but I know at least 2 of the 5 will be killed by the soap, and possibly more. The assailant is someone that EJ knows because he speaks to them before they shoot, and it looks like this shooter finds Elvis Jr. alone at the mansion and puts a bullet or 2 into his chest, intending to kill him. And as he's bleeding, somebody runs into the room to check on him. It's a guy, so it could be Johnny, could be Chad. My money's on Johnny because Chad is living at the Horton house. I do suspect EJ survives, but it may be touch and go. And we do get Susan Banks back for part of this possibly fatal shooting plot, and she's always fun. And I'm sure she thinks whoever shot her Elvis is main. All right, the 5th and final death to talk about is one that is definitely coming, and that, of course, is John Black. We are inching closer and closer to them wrapping up the epic run of Drake Hogestyn on Days of Our Lives. His final episode as John aired Monday, September 9th, and he passed away just a few weeks later on September 28th, 2024. But because of the long delay in taping to air dates, Drake filmed his final episode mid-February 2024. So it's been almost a year since the John Black actor left the set for good. He wrapped filming 7 months before he passed away from pancreatic cancer. I'm also curious about who wrote his final storyline. Because Drake Hogestyn wrapped filming in February, that was the end of his work on the set, but John's storyline has been ongoing, and he's continued to have an off-screen plot that's been going on for months and months. The new head writers began mid-July as Ron Carlivati exited. Their work won't start airing until April 24th of this year. I know Allison Sweeney was taping again in early August for appearances to air in spring. I expect Allison is back for the EJ shooting and the Arnold stuff, but also for her stepdad's funeral. And given that John's death plot was likely written around the time the new lady head writers began, I'm curious if Rerun wrote John's exit story, and if so, did they go ahead and film it, or did the new incoming writers scrap it and write their own? We won't know until we see the episode. So John right now is off on an ISA mission. Steve and Marlena are starting to get worried, and they go see Shane Donovan soon. But also, as we all know, John Black is never coming back to Salem again, and his death of these 5 characters we've talked about is definitely coming, definitely tragic. It's going to be hard on all the fans, and I know I'm going to need a whole box of tissues to get through it.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.